This is big risk right now, but it's all or nothing if they want to stay in this game here. 15 players have to go down. They're going to start getting tagged here, and the team of the distance that found those additional Storm Surge hits on them as well is going to go ahead and set them back just a little bit here. In goes Miro. Here comes Booga. The edit comes through. They go toe-to-toe with the team. Grid tags right there. Was it enough? It looks like it as they start to back up. And yes, they find themselves a little window, and Booga needed it. My gosh, look at his HP.
Yeah, but I'm not sure it's enough, Monster. Keeping an eye on the top left. Players are dropping quickly, but that threshold on the right side, they were 118 above, I believe, maybe a little bit higher than that. And that number keeps dropping, 69, 68. It continues going lower, but somebody who, again, we talked about needing to get some damage down, needing to get something going. Sitting on Avery, TNA Muzz under pressure from Storm Surge, and just hoping that team up above ends up peeking out. Instead, they end up peeking it down, looking at them, and they don't have an angle coming through Monster. They need to invest quickly, and Miro finds some great tags on the left-hand side. Those headshots are going to put them comfortably above now.
Kid you not, jaw dropped for a second there. Those are just a crazy line of headshots right there. I thought he was going to get the full knock. He is officially comfortable now. Booga and Miro lose the pressure of the surge. For Avery and crew here, though, it is not looking good. There comes the shots from up above. The well-timed Storm Surge plus counterfire from Smite and Larson. They're going to wrap themselves up a fresh 6-pack there. Miro and Booga. What a surge battle for them. That story was insane, but they are in the game and back like they never left. Off to the rotate here. Wow.
And Aviv just gets a rip down. That's Peterbot who's going to end up picking that up. That was our last player under Surge. Another duo goes down. Right after that, our first round of placement points are given out. And Cease and Elite actually fall right after, so they'll get the pity point going through. But unfortunately for the veterans who got off to a pretty solid start, that's a little bit of a stall going through there. So see an update in the top of the screen. Miro in 20, leading game number 3 with 5 elims apiece. Again, that's 15 points individually out of their team. See Pam Sound Fatch currently sitting in 7th place, 69 points coming through with that placement point topping off on them. But looks like they took a decent amount of chunk trying to trade out on the Storm Surge there. Gonna invest a little bit of the Chug Splasher, but also finding Flood over on the other side, potentially not covered up, but will be immediately be able to react. So now we get a triple split. Pam Sound Fatch, top of the screen. Yamzo D-Den, bottom left. Day and Clicks, the energy duo in the bottom right-hand corner. In a fight on the edge of zone, trying to get back together, getting the whip, but the whip is stuck in the build. You need to open up a garage, make some more room so the taxi can get you out and into your destination. The edits are tough right now, and they find they're going to be able to get in, but they're taking just so much damage before they even got going. They can't afford to be next to that car and in the zone. It's going to tick over. Boom, it goes. I mean, they are just as shambles. This is so hard, Monster.
It's not looking too good for them right now. Sparks on the other side, they're starting to fire in. Walker as well on the distance there, just on the border, and Clicks realizes it's all over. Tries to drop some stuff for Day, but it's not going to be enough. Man, that was so unfortunate. The vehicle just bulldozes into a box. I mean, Day and Clicks knew what they were doing. They wanted to take a fight, but they kind of asked for it. They could have went straight to zone, but instead they took a big battle there, and it's Walkers and the other duo that end up with the points.
So when we talk about doing the little things right, that's one of those situations where if you are going to box up a car, you need to make sure immediately that the interior walls that you're using to box up the car are already edited so it can go. That way when you get out, one of you hops in, the duo gets in the other side, and the duo then opens the wall that's in front and you go. They would have saved them so much time, and the team wouldn't have been able to get set up rather than saying, hey, is there a car we still hear off in the distance? And everybody's able to about face and have a straight line on you. So really tough situation going through there, but it's just one of those times where not doing all of the little things in between, it costs you a couple of seconds, but those seconds compound, right? Every couple of seconds in the early game that you end up falling behind potentially end up meaning losing position, and they cost you that much more HP, that much more shields, and sometimes your ability to pick up more points in the game.
These things really do start to add up, and you see it more importantly towards the end game when you start running out of material. You find yourself with no ammunition, and you know you're on high ground, realizing, oh, we can't even hold this, right? Things like that. It's that little early game min-maxing that's going to be the most important for Chimp and Spade. It's top 3 and a big rotate in front of them. They go with a full-on foot rotate right now. This is not looking good, and it looks like no teams on the outer edge here have any launch pads or mobility to work with. So a lot of traffic here, and they're caught right in the middle of the jam. now working their way through enemy builds here. There's still an enemy inside that wall there, so Chimp's gonna have to step out to the side here, but this exposes him to other teams. And oh, it's not looking too hot. It's costing him so much just to get to this position here.
Yeah, that's the current third place team on the left-hand side, but you can see just a tiny little crack. You talked about it, Monster. The enemies are in the walls. No place is safe, but they see the eyes moving in the portrait, but instead, Spade opens up and doesn't cover his front. Gets ripped apart, and it's all going to be on Chimp. He's actually going to dip back into the zone for just a half second, hoping for a little bit of respite, and he's going to get it on the right side of the screen. Batch ends up going down, and yet again, Pamso is going to be left. Bit of a hop, skip, and a jump to make it to the zone as we have two solos relatively high up on our leaderboards, now under the pressure. How are they looking on Storm Surge? We hear the warning come through. Both above, Chimp comfortably so. Pam Stow, I would say not necessarily, but only one duo needs to go down, and there it goes. The warning turns off, but Pam Stow immediately here opens up and he says, I don't want to be there.
Yeah, he gets face checked basically by a team that's sitting behind those walls there. It seems like they're starting to inch their way in. Pam still looking for an exit up top. Those are not even his cones there, so he does have to be mega careful here. And the zone is so far. This is one of the longer rotates he's going to have to make in this game here. No extra heals here, about halfway cap on the material count, and really not a lot of shield to work with, so very tough position to be in. And honestly, just a single team separates him from at least another point or two. We saw what he could do as a solo, but the last time he had Mythic Spider-Man Web Slingers in play, this time none of that. Going to recycle some enemy builds here. Cones himself off. It's Acorn who's up above. That is a duo, though. And there it is. Re-met with Acorn. He gets crushed on the backside of the storm line there, and he manages to find that point there. So Acorn clutches up a couple points.
Got 4 points going through the +1 for getting into the top 25, the +3 for the Elim, and here's our current leaders, again, investing a decent amount of their hard materials to get up off of the grab, but this is probably the worst position we've seen them in. However, they are still into the placement points, they are still a duo up, they are still have plenty of shields and decent weaponry, so while we talk about worst, that's comparative. They're still sitting pretty, and Chimp right now, somebody who just looking for a little bit of a space, a little bit of a breather, hoping that zone will close and he doesn't have to go a grid space farther. It looks like he might be right on the line, but he just want to eke out some placement points here, Monster.
Yeah, I saw Oliver OG fall there, but the one team that I'm keeping an eye on is actually Bucky and Cam, who are playing second height right now, and we know they are a team that is always and constantly eyeing height for endgame victory royales. They managed to pick up 2 coming out of their early qualification week 1. That's a team that will play for high ground. One of the few teams I'd say that will definitively and consistently always play for that top position there. And look, they managed to be up on height.
Gotta give a call out too, though. Shadow picking up an Elim, and we've seen what happens when Shadow and OMG2 get a priority position there on the zone. But yeah, you talked about it. Miro went down. That's on the bottom right-hand corner of the wide on the left side of your screen. So Bugga now it's going to be his chance to play the solo player. But I mean, we've seen what he's capable of. As you see, Acorn also taking to the sky. They're looking for a little bit of room to operate, not necessarily getting the space he needs. Canada is down as well. See Chip fall in the top right, a couple of extra placement points going over to him, but now his view is replaced with our current leaders who are making it to yet another endgame monster.
Stretching commandment fall as well. As on the bottom, Acorn hits a harpoon through a wood build window there. That was a ridiculous play there. Doesn't manage to find the full elimination, but it does keep him nice and safe here for Duke. And Jamper on the other side, though, they're making a rotate, and they're making it look nice and easy as their layer is virtually uncontested here. So it's just smart positioning by them round after round. For the high ground, though, Rise and Ager's going all the way on up. They want to snipe up that #1 spot, and they're going to do it with a victory royale. If they can't secure it for Cam and Bucky, they end up giving it away, but Cam is just lurking nearby. This is going to cost him a lot of material, but he has plenty to work with here as Bucky ends up folding down, but Cam staying true to it. This is very aggressive of him to sit there and try to play it out, but looks like it's going to work out as Agers loses Rise. Rise slips through the build. Now he just has to give it up.
Yeah, Agers and Rise getting separated there, keeping an eye on the feed in the top left-hand side as Agers and Rise is dropping down. They're dropping down into the fray too. OMG Me Too picking up an Elim on the feed as well. You can see users getting knocked on the backside of the zone. You can see Cam and Bucky back up on the high ground like we talked about. Quancy picking up the Elim onto play up by there, who ended up getting the win in our last game. Smite and Larson still up as well as Acorn continues his run, gets the Elim credit, finding another shot here. Will he be able to close it out in the zone? Gets the knock. We'll get the siphon on Naroke. No panic. Gets the build. Still has the pepper effect. He takes tons of damage in the back of the zone. 157. Rise, how you doing? He says hello. Gets the heart, but he needs to find the finish. finish it. He can't swap over the harpoon. The 75 damage, not enough to get the confirm there as we swing on board. Dukes goes down early, and Jamper as a solo, no builds left, tries to find her on the backside, and it's Teo, and he finds a lot trying to get into the build, and he'll get it. That's a huge 4-point swing there. Can he find the mats? He finds 11 of them, 10 now down to 5. Will he be able to find a little bit of space? No white heals, and I lied. He's able to find a med miss, which will extend his game monster. The placement points are still adding up for our #1 duo.
Massive, he's stealing away tons of points right now. Byla's still in this game too. Now in 3rd position, by the way, off of the drop there. So big plays coming in. Jamper still alive here, sitting in the zone. Out comes the hands, but no, he accidentally swaps them out there. But it does not matter. With 10 HP, a slither, and a dream, he does manage to stay alive here. And now snaking its way through, finds a solo on the backside of the storm line. Big pressure coming in. It's a duo on the left. He gets shut down there. It's Princess Wolf and AMT make another endgame. Byla as a solo right now. Last slung in the hands here. He does go all the way through. Okay, not bad at all. He is still in the running here. What can he do? We've seen so many players as solos make big points here in the end game, but it's a tall order to go ahead and ask for here.
3 duos up. Got some solos running around as well, but numbers are getting thin here as Byla looking for some space. 8 Elans make it 9 as a duo right now with a huge shot there. Finding AMT on the back of the zone. Drops
no way.
Down. He's going to be able to find a second. That's a knock though, not the full confirm. Has the time to be able to get it, but that's Move going to be able to go down another one in the box, but that will be the end into the top 4. Cam and Bucky are the only duo up. Otherwise, it's solos running it out, and they're trying to end up picking up another VR. They'll find Wanted on the backside of the zone. They'll find a Smite, and that's 8 eliminations and the VR when all is said and